Have you ever missed out on something amazing? It stinks, doesn't it? What stinks worse is missing out on something amazing that God might be doing in your life, in my life, in the world around us. And it happens more often than you might think. It happened in the life of Jesus. In this chapter, Jesus performs a miracle. He heals a man who was born blind. And that man who was born blind then goes to the religious leaders to tell them about it. And look at what happens. In John chapter 9, starting at verse 13, it says this. They brought to the Pharisees the man who had formerly been blind. Now it was a Sabbath day when Jesus made the mud and opened his eyes. That's how Jesus healed him. So the Pharisees again asked him how he had received his sight. And he said to them, "He put mud on my eyes, and I washed, and I see." Some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, for he does not keep the Sabbath." But others said, "How can a man who is a sinner do such signs?" And there was a deep division among them. And the division continues. In fact, many of the Pharisees and the religious leaders, they continue to reject Jesus. Now, I find it amazing that this miracle happens and the guy who is healed is standing right in front of him, and they completely discount it and reject Jesus. Why? Because the miracle was done on the wrong day. And this happens with these guys over and over and over again through the life of Jesus. Jesus keeps giving them all this evidence that he is who he says he is, and they completely miss it. And the reason they miss it, the reason they discount it, is because Jesus doesn't fit in the box that they've created for what the Messiah should look like and how he should act. Jesus keeps bucking their conventions of who the Messiah should be, and they reject him because of it. And the part that is cautionary for me is I wonder how often I do that to God in my own life. Have I created a box of how I think God will act in the world and act in my life, and I might be missing what God is doing all around me and even in me because he's not acting in conformity to the way that I've said or the way that I've envisioned God acting. And for me, that's cause to maybe think about that. You know, God, are there ways that you're at work that I'm not recognizing because I've created some kind of construct for how God works in the world? And so, God, open my eyes and open my heart to see how you're at work around me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.